So you've got your carbon reduction plan. That's a good thing. We like that. That's what we're here for. But how do you improve it? How do you make it better year on year on year? There's answers in two areas, okay? The first is projects, and the second is something called a data quality matrix, which I'll explain in a second. So once you've done your carbon reduction plan, brilliant, well done to start with. You know, I know that there's a bit of work that goes into those, so congratulations. But how do we improve it for next year? You know, the years 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Well, there's probably two areas to concentrate on. The first are the projects, and the second something called the data quality matrix. If we take the projects first, how do you go about sort of improving the plan? Well, the best way is show progress on the projects that you've put in. If you said, look, we'll tell you what, we're going to flood fit LEDs, just write something down saying, do you know what, we're in the middle of it, or we've done it, etc., etc. So it's not all about what we will do. It starts saying, well, where are we on our journey? Okay, that's quite easy to track. You know, most software, you know, anistic.earth these days will do that. And you know, if you wanted another sort of look at it, my new book, Net Zero for Business, which is a really practical guide on how you can get your business to net zero. That's got some examples in there as well. But, you know, projects aside, the biggest area that you're going to look at and think, well, do you know what, that area can be improved. So the biggest improvement from year to year, and I typically say this takes about 3 years to get from here to here, is the data. Okay, in my experience, the first year that you do your carbon reduction report, the data will be slightly ropey. There will be gaps in it. Okay, there shouldn't be, but there are. There always are. So, you know, there'll be gaps in flights, there'll be gaps on your purchase ledger, there'll be gaps, typically not in electricity and gas. They tend to be pretty available from the suppliers, but you can't put your finger on it, but there's going to be gaps around in places. There's also going to be other data areas where you look at it and go, well, that's just not right. You know, we've got data for it, but it's just not good enough. So what you do is, in that first year, once you've done your report, you do something called the data quality matrix. Okay, it's very easy. It's a list of rows on the screen with all the data items that you need for your carbon reduction plan: electricity, gas, you know, oil if you've got it, LPG, business travel flights, business travel cars, etc. It's a long list of those. And then every year there's a column for the year, which is red, amber or green in each of the cells, and some notes at the side. The red, amber, green is just very, very simple. And you can use whatever metric you want, but the metrics we use are: red is there's a problem with this data. There's a severe problem with this data. You know, either it couldn't be used, or it couldn't be found, or we just miles out, we just don't believe it. Green is the reverse. This data item, this data line is okay, there's no problems. And amber is somewhere in between. So, you know, we are using this data, but we think there are problems with it. So you'll end up with a grid, a matrix of all the data items, various years, notes of red, amber, green. And that'll allow you to focus in on the red areas, and in the notes, you put down in the notes what you're going to do about those red areas. I'll give you an example, probably, you know, this might describe your company, I hope it doesn't, but it might. Say, we don't keep a track of our incoming deliveries. So we've used an estimate based on, you know, having a chat with, you know, one of the office managers or something like that. Now, you know, what would you flag that as? I'd probably flag that as an amber. So, you know, deliveries, incoming deliveries for that year, amber, and the note will be incoming deliveries are based on an estimated figure given by the office manager. We are putting systems in place over the next 12 months to improve this recording. Yeah. Or you might put a different note for exactly the same situation, saying incoming deliveries are not recorded and they're based on estimates by the office manager, but this area is insignificant in importance, so we won't be focusing on it in the next 12 months. Something like that. All you're trying to do is trying to say, well, look, you know, what are we doing about it? And that will give you the basis of getting that 3-year journey. As I said, it normally takes 3 years. First year it's ropey. By year 3 and year 4, you should have the data nailed. And in years 2 and 3, or year 2 certainly, you know, you will have a better report than year 1. Maybe it's not perfect, but it's certainly better, and it won't be as good as your year 3 report. Okay, so the data quality matrix, very useful to help you sort of look at where you want to focus your effort and how you're going to improve your carbon reduction plan, along with the other part, the projects. That's what it's all about. It's pointless writing it all down unless you can actually sort of reduce it down, and the carbon reduction projects just show where you're at on your journey. Just write that down and just show the fact that you're getting from here to here. Okay, hope that was useful. I'll see you next time.